Let's talk about Raw.
Raw was long.
See, it's 3 hours next week, too.
Miz came out, rambled on about himself and Austin until Austin arrived. Thank God, because breaking news, Steve Austin cuts better promos than The Miz.
Cuts better promos than everybody.
He just does. So it was awesome he was out there.
You know, people are going to disagree with me, but I'm going to say this. Steve Austin cuts better promos than The Rock. I'll tell you why. Because Rock's got, he's got great promos, and they're hilarious, and they're funny, and people chant along, and he's as far as, pure charisma, Rock, obliterates Steve Austin. But Steve Austin is a guy that he's got spinal stenosis, he's got a bad neck, he's old.
Triple fusion, I think.
He's never done he was never like an NCAA champion or even really anything at all. He was never an MMA fighter. He was never a boxer. He was never did any sort of combat sports. But Steve Austin can look a guy in the eye and cut a promo on him, and you firmly believe he'd whip that guy's ass. Mm-hmm.
That is true.
And I don't know anybody else like that.
Not anymore.
No one has. Actually, I guess probably. Well, that's different because Kurt Angle. When Kurt Angle gives some guy the eye and says, "I'll beat the fuck out of you," you're like, okay, yeah, you're right. But he was an Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah. Austin is faking it.
Yeah, Austin is faking it, but he's so goddamn fucking great that you believe it.
Right.
Rock doesn't even really have that because you look at Rock and you're like, okay, yeah, he beat my ass. He's a giant Samoan who
was a great athlete for his
young
size,
and not broken down. Yeah. You get that guy mad and you need a pair of goggles and run for your life.
Austin's a bald redneck with an occasional beer gut.
Yeah.
But he makes you believe he would kill everyone.
He when he cut that promo on Miz, it was like, okay, guy's old, guy's got a bad neck, guy shouldn't ever take a single bump again. Miz is young. About all I can say, but seriously.
There are better guys to make this argument than Miz, but your point is still there.
But I thought, one-on-one fight, Austin would kick this guy's ass 6 ways from Sunday.
He would eat his lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So, the end result of all of this is that...
And that's what wrestling is, by the way. That's what cutting a promo is all about.
Yeah.
Convince people you're going to beat a guy's ass no matter whether you're real or not. Go on.
The end result of all this was that Steve Austin, the retired wrestler, was the man, and Miz, the very recent WWE champion, was a coward who backed away from the retired man with a bad neck.
I can't even rant about the positioning of Miz anymore. Number one, I've ranted myself out, and number two, at this point, by the end of this show, when Roddy Piper pinned Miz after Alex Riley's, it's just like, okay,
has there ever been a guy whose star has fallen so quickly? Who's that high and is now fallen this low in a month? I've
said it before. I firmly believe this. He was so much more over before he won the title than after.
Than now, certainly.
And I can't even get mad at it anymore because it's kind of like the Zack Ryder thing. It's past the point of no return. There's no hope for Miz.
It's what they do.
So he should just go out there and cut the best promos he can and do the best job he can. And he's done for.
And save your money.
Yeah, save your money. Make as much as you can right now.
Yeah, so he left. Austin was about to rant more when Alberto came out. He wanted Austin to officially pass the torch to himself. Austin said no and booked him against Kane. They did a cheap DQ in 3 minutes because Alberto would not break a hold when Kane had the ropes. Fine way to open Raw. just really set the mood. So then,
what a stupid finish.
And there was more. Big Show returned to make the save. Charged down to the ring, an angry giant. He attacked them both. Alberto left.
How come am I the only person in the world that noticed how fast this man ran?
Honestly, you may have been.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, here's this. By the time I noticed he was there, he was already in the ring.
I mean,
he ran so fast I couldn't see him.
You could get in your car, and I think the Big Show would have ran faster.
Well, he's certainly faster than me, yes.
Think about that, though, Vinny. The fact that he's even faster than you.
I'm a very slow man.
Here's a 40-year-old man that weighs 500 pounds.
Yeah, faster than me. I'll readily admit this. I am slow.
Amazing. I was amazed at his speed.
So he tore into Alberto and Ricardo, Alberto fled and left his lackey to die, and Big Show looked quite content to murder Ricardo. Kane had to pull Big Show off, including putting a choke sleeper on him to get him off the man and stop him from murdering somebody. And that's what Kane said. If you kill him, forget exactly what he said, but you won't get a chance to kill Alberto later. So Steve Austin, the GM for the night, booked Big Show versus Alberto for the pay-per-view. He can do that.
I really think that, well, he's guest GM for the night, so he can do whatever he wants.
He's guest GM for tonight.
I really think that in like 15 years, I'll still remember the visual of Big Show tearing down to the ring.
Maybe I'll YouTube that someday.
You need to go back and look at it. I never saw a man run so fast at that size. Like, literally,
I'm
I
sure
swear
that's
to God,
true.
at that size, I've never seen a man move like that.
I guarantee you that's true.
Yeah. It's amazing.
We had a 6-man. DiBiase, Rhodes, and Wade Barrett against Sin Cara, Daniel Bryson, and Zeke.
Daniel Bryson?
Is that what I said? Daniel, Bryan, Sin Cara, and Zeke. So, out of all these men, Zeke got the hot tag, which made me laugh, and then you realize, well, that's better than getting the heat on him. So he did his comeback. Bunch of stuff happened. Sin Cara pinned Wade Barrett with a body press, and this is supposed to build to Wade Barrett defending against Zeke at the pay-per-view. I don't understand.
I've long since given up on trying to figure this shit out.
The match, as my notes here read, completely forgettable, and in fact, I have forgotten about it less than 24 hours after watching it. Hornswoggle was shooting t-shirts in the crowd when Truth came out. Hornswoggle shot him with a t-shirt. Truth no-sold it, booted him in the face. That was funny. So Austin appeared on the screen, told Truth to pick on someone his own size. It was John Morrison. This terrified me. I thought he was going to make his return way too early. Thankfully, he did not. Sheamus wrestled Santino. This is where the We Want Ryder chants were first appeared on Raw, or at least they were their loudest. So they had a match. Santino hit the Cobra, and I was going to explode, and then thank God Sheamus kicked out at 1. That made me so happy. And then he applied the Cloverleaf submission for the win, and I thought to myself, why, in 2 years with this company, has no one thought that he should use this move before, including myself? I'm mad at myself for not thinking of this. The Cloverleaf.
Great move for this.
Yes.
This Irishman.
In name and the actual move itself, it's a submission hold this guy can apply on anyone. Great. We had an Orton promo that was almost exactly the promo we cut on SmackDown. He called out Christian. Christian showed up on the monitor. They jibber-jabbered for a while. Orton dared him to come out to the ring. Christian didn't. This time he teased it at least, but he changed his mind. Orton went up to get him. Security broke him apart. The GM dinged in. Said Orton had a concussion and would be out until Sunday. When, I believe this is the quote, all indications are you will be wrestling on Sunday. So Orton left.
Actually, he really did get
Apparently
a concussion.
Legit has a concussion, and all indications are.
All indications are you may not work on Sunday.
We'll see. We'll see. So he left. Austin booked Christian against Rey Mysterio. And for the second time in this show, a man was disqualified for not breaking on 5. They're not even trying anymore. Punk and Nexus ran out. Apparently Punk and Rey are having a match at the pay-per-view. I'd completely forgotten this. And they beat Rey up about 5-on-1. He fought them off for a while, but eventually they caught him. And Mason Ryan threw him into a post. Christian had a kill switch on him, and that was that. Austin had a meeting with Vicky and Dolph. Vicky wanted Dolph to have a title match against Kofi on Sunday.
It's the little things that Austin does that are so awesome. When he's on the phone and he's chit-chatting and she says, "Excuse me," and he says, "I'm on the phone," and then she screams, "Excuse me," the fucking look on his face. It's like comedy gold.
His comedy is awesome.
Yes.
Very underrated, honestly.
It is.
So, yeah, she wanted Dolph to have a title match against Kofi. Austin said, fine if you drop Vicky. So she said he would never do that, and Dolph hemmed and hawed, and finally he agreed to dump his woman for the title shot. This outraged Vicky, and then Austin said, I'm just kidding. You got your title match already. And he walked out. That was funny.
It's fine.
It was a fine way to book a match I have seen 700 times. Truth and Morrison. Thankfully, Morrison did not make his return from injury too early, unannounced with no build. His music played. He did not come out. Truth went to get him, where it was revealed that he had already been laid out, and Truth shoved a box into him. That's fine.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it's fine. I don't know. Nobody knew today, but I as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, he's in real bad shape.
Morrison?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And, I've not heard otherwise, but that angle, not only the attack on the neck, but then ramming the thing into him, that was like, okay, we're expecting him out like a year or significantly longer.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. Of course, I thought that when they ran over Big Show, they spent so much fucking time on it, I thought he needed knee surgery, and he's fine.
Back to...
He's sprinting.
3 weeks later?
He's sprinting 3 weeks later.
Faster than ever before.
Yeah.
He's better.
He needs to thank them for hitting with the car, apparently.
Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger versus Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne. In a 3-hour show, these men cannot get 2 minutes for a tag match. Swagger got pinned after kicking a shooting star. Who fucking cares? Piper came out. He talked about fighting Mr. T at WrestleMania 2 in this building. Miz interrupted, said he was tired of hearing he was the next Roddy Piper.
I wonder if they really just played Miz's music because Piper was just like bumbling on.
He was not out there very long.
This was not Piper's
best. He may have
best.
gone completely off script.
It was not his best.
That's possible. Because, he went for maybe a minute before Miz came out there. Probably a lot less than that, actually. So, anyway, Miz said that he had won the championship and he had won at WrestleMania and the real world was better than they live. To which Roddy Piper replied, I never saw the show. I was busy living in the real world. Yeah. I found that quote fascinating.
That's a good one.
So, Riley came out. There were... we talked about the Zack Ryder chants. The ridiculously loud Alex Riley chants here.
Yeah.
I just flabbergasted me. It's been a month. It's been 1 month.
This is what happens when you take a new guy and you turn him babyface and you have him beat up and humiliate a star every week over and over, and you don't pull the rug out from underneath them.
Yeah.
Which inevitably they'll do within the next 3 weeks without fail.
I mean, it reinforces that it still works when they want to.
Well, all of this shit, that's the thing that people, sometimes people, I'll talk about Ohio Valley or I'll talk about some simple booking concept, and people will be like, oh, Brian, it's 2011. That shit won't work now. You've got to do this, or you've got to... It won't work. You can't do that anymore. And it's like, yeah, it does work. You know? Why the fuck did Karma get over? Because she came in and she just beat someone up every week, for fuck's sake. Mm-hmm. Why is Alex Riley getting over? Because he comes out every week and he just humiliates a heel, a top star, over and over and over. The top star never gets his heat back. It's probably going to be a while before that happens, and guys get over. This shit will work for fucking ever. It will work forever!
So Riley and Miz bickered about who dumped who. Riley said Piper could meet Miz. Miz said he had $1,000 and said Piper couldn't do it. Piper tried to get him to pony up $5,000. Austin appeared again, and he decided for himself that each guy was putting up $5,000.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of a dick move. Piper didn't put his money up. But he also made Riley the special ref. So, had a match. It went like a minute. Riley was the ref. He was openly brawling with Miz. Then Piper rolled him up and pinned him. And then
Actually, Miz hit him first.
That's fine. Yes, Miz got pinned by Piper, and then Alex Riley beat him up again.
Well, actually, that's key, Vinny, because, in fact, even though it is 2011, basic human psychology still works. If they had put Riley as the special guest referee, and Riley just attacked Miz...
I see.
It is, in fact, 2-on-1, and the guy looks like a dick. Instead, he was in there, he was, in fact, calling it down the middle. The heel, like a complete jackass, punched him, and so he fired up and fought back and defended himself, and then counted the pin for this geek. So it's, this shit still has to be done right. Which is just... TNA is so far gone, and WWE, like a quarter of the time, is so far gone. But every now and then they do it right, you know? Why would... Someone, I'm sure, back there just said, no, why would Riley just punch Miz? Oh, well, Miz has got to hit him first. Oh, okay, there you go. Because that fucking makes sense.
What did not make sense was a 14-woman Divas match. They just had all the girls out there for a minute. They did so little that Natalya did not even bother to take her ring jacket off.
Yeah.
Kelly pinned Rose with a Fame-Asser. It sucked. Then Eve said they were going to do a tribute to Broadway.
They should call it the Infame-Asser when Kelly does it.
What?
She's not famous, Vinny. She's infamous.
I see. Yes, like a Wapo. or like Three Amigos. Anyway, Eve decided they were going to do a tribute to Broadway. They did the Rockettes chorus line for no reason. All I could think was Beth was at the end of the line looking around like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I was praying she would turn and lay out the other half dozen girls, but she did not.
Like headbutt the first one and then they'd fall down one at a time like
that
those
would have been awesome,
swinging
yes.
balls.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Or just line them up like bowling pins to take them out at one shot. Either one. But
or wait, no, she'd have to headbutt the first one and the last one would take a bump.
That's fine. None of this happened. All of this would have been better than her dancing. So
Their dancing was fucking better than Caitlin's.
Well, I'm not knocking her dancing in and of itself. I'm saying that, with Karma gone, she's the big scary one now.
She's gonna have to hang out for 8 months, Vinny, or 9 months till Karma returns.
Sad state of affairs. Austin was talking to Andy backstage.
Andy, yes.
CM Punk interrupted. Made me laugh because Austin was trying to talk to Punk, and all Punk would say was, "What?" I laughed a lot of that. So he thanked Austin for booking him against Cena tonight. Austin said Nexus was banned. Punk was fine with this. Austin called him a punk and walked out. This is great.
That actually was awesome.
CM Punk and Steve Austin are a fine combo. Also, I forgot to mention Austin offered Punk a beer.
The best part was when he offered him the beer, and Punk said, "Can I get a breathalyzer in here?" He said, "You appear to be inebriated. Can you say the alphabet backwards?" And Austin said, "I'll kick your ass backwards."
Yes.
I believed him.
So Austin came out and hit the ring, and it appeared like he had no idea what he was going to say. He was just killing time until the GM or the general manager sent an email. So that's what happened. General manager sent an email.
Well, he made one announcement. Kind of a big one.
Not until after the GM dinged.
Oh, I see.
The GM dinged, but Austin would not let Michael Cole answer the email. Austin said he would not be the GM next week, but it would also be a 3-hour show, and it would be all about the power of the people. So presumably a Cyber Sunday type deal. And then Austin poured beer on the laptop. Yeehaw. CM Punk versus John Cena. This match featured stupid, loud dueling chants. These fans were so passionate about... I couldn't tell if they were chanting Cena sucks or CM Punk. They sound pretty similar when chanted by several thousand people. But either way, they were into it. Also, a little bit of We Want Ryder. So, it was not their best match. They just...
You don't say.
Yeah.
It's fine.
The highlight to me was CM Punk did a tribute to Macho Man. He did the axe handle to the floor. And in the process, when CM Punk does it, it really made you realize how talented Macho Man was. His looked better.
Macho Man actually jumped off the post.
Macho Man, he may have actually flown. CM Punk sort of fell.
He kind of fell off. He tried.
He went from high to low.
He tried.
Yes. So, Cena was going through his comeback. Truth interrupted. Tease spitting water on a kid. John Cena reacted like he was going to spit fire on the young man. This let Punk hit the GTS on Cena and pin him. Again, this sets up Cena versus Truth. How? And then Truth laid out Cena for good measure. That was the go-home show for the pay-per-view. And R-Truth goes into his title match on the pay-per-view with, I believe, a one-match winning streak over Rey Mysterio.
Well, he had a couple of wins over John Cena.
Like the count-out?
A count-out, for example.
Yes. Oh, and then the reverse decision in a tag match. I remember that one now as well.
I love that they work so fucking hard to convince us that wins and losses don't matter. And then they do a finish where the only fucking way anyone would ever care about it is if wins and losses mattered.
Yeah. They've had a month to do this, but they had 3 more hours to convince me that Truth had a prayer in hell of beating John Cena, and they failed. And by the way, if Truth does beat John Cena, it will now seem totally illegitimate and a fluke. And pointless. So, there's no possible positive outcome for the pay-per-view now.
I'm convinced after the interview with the French Stallion today that he knows more about the wrestling business than everyone in WWE put together.
After reviewing that show,
I can't be fat!
Well, there's that.
Girls are not made for this business.
And that's...
He did explain somewhat what he meant about that.
I assume he meant that their body's not meant to take the punishment?
Well, he basically just said girls on the indie scene are just worthless.
Oh.
You know, they don't look as good as divas. They can't work. They bring down the whole show. He goes, Girls in WWE are fine. They're good looking. They can work.
Well, calls it like he sees it then.
The man calls it like he sees it.
No bullshit from the French Stallion.